So as you see, this is a really nice, dancey, rocky, cool, fun beat to play. So I'm gonna break it down for you. So let me play it first. So that's it. It's a variation of two things. First, the bass drum is always putting on all beats, with the snare drum on 2 and 4. Then the hi-hat goes upbeat and some 16th notes with a paradiddle. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. Alright, I'm using a paradiddle just to keep my left hand on the snare drum all the time. Alright, later I play some upbeat hits on the tom 1 and the tom 2. So it's very easy. Same beat, but on the toms. Alright, so the whole thing is gonna sound like this. Now the second part of the beat is all the same, but instead of playing the toms, I'm gonna be playing the crashes with the snare drum. Like this. Very easy. So let me put it all together. So it's played much faster in 160 BPM. So the second beat comes in with a very simple 16th note roll on the snare drum, followed with a hi-hat. So the whole thing would sound like this. On a third and fourth beat of the rhythm. Now, after that is a very simple rock, open hi-hat, dancey groove. Coming in from the other roll, the whole thing would sound like. Very easy. And then I end with the same roll to get back to the same first rhythm. So all three together would sound like that. Plain and simple. Alright, so coming back to this rhythm and back up to the same open hi-hat rhythm, I'm going to be using a really long roll which sums it up all. But before that, I'm going to be using a small crescendo type of feel in the middle of the rhythm to cut it in. Like this. That's the crescendo on the hi-hat. After that is a long 2-bar roll. So altogether it would sound like. Much faster. And back to the hard rock rhythm. So after that, I'm going to be using a really small roll because the singer is going to sing, so you don't want to come over the singer. With something really simple, but using the bass drum with the toms and the snare drum, and 4/16 notes. Much faster. And then crash with snare drum. Like this. And you leave the crash to take its time to finish on the last beat. Alright, so it's gonna sound like this. A little bit faster. Alright, so after this I'm going to be using the same roll in the first dancey rhythm. Inside this. So that's the trick, you use the same roll twice, then the same roll twice. So after that is the same rocky open hi-hat groove but closed to give more dance feel and to hear the vocals more. As you notice in the end, there's a double stroke with an open hi-hat. Right. Be very careful to hit hard on the double stroke so that everyone can hear it. Right now there's a change in the song with a lot of back vocals and it's kind of a bridge or something. So the roll into it is a flam and a kick drum type of feel. Very old school John Bonham type. And the beat after it is a snare drum, always punky type, with an upbeat flow on the bass drum with the bass guitar. So after each other would be a little bit faster. And over here, I'm going to be using the same fill-in I used before. And back to the dance rhythm. Now the whole idea is knowing how to put it together. So I take it right after the toms, I do another half a beat with an open hi-hat and put this paradiddle thing, like this. So be sure when you play it really fast to be extremely accurate with those paradiddles on the cymbals. That's That's a very simple rhythm where you groove on the crash cymbal, choose the biggest you can for the biggest sound, and it's very simple, very Muse type of thing, and it ends with a triplet on the snare drum like this. And after that, the whole song changes to something different. So here it goes. Right now, the song changes more to a guitar rock and roll thing. So more solos, more melodies, more stuff. And I try to do my best to stay put focused with playing the melody sometimes, like a triplet on the beginning, pa pa pa, and a little small snare drum hi-hat feel in the middle, and I end it also the triplets, something like this. So what's happening here, it's a double variation of the triplet, which is in the end of the rhythm, which is the fill to start. Very easy. And the second fill is with the other guitar and the bass line, something like this. So I'm using my left hand on the hi-hat so that I can come back with a full powered right hand on the crash. Alright, so a little bit faster, it's gonna sound like this. So right now is a really nice, cool, funky type of roll where you do a 5-stroke roll, a triplet, and a quarter note, like this. Sounds better much faster. And after that, I'm gonna do a 16th note triplet with a kick drum. With tom 2, tom 1, tom 3, and then kick. So all of it will sound like this. A little bit slower. So after this nice funky triplet type of fill in, I'm gonna do the same beat that I did before with the open hi-hat, which just to remind you. So really easy. So right before the end of the song, I'm gonna be doing this Mike Portnoy, Neil Peart type of drum fill in between the snare drum, hi-hat, and the kick drum. I'm gonna start with a kick drum, then I'm gonna do 4 snare drums, kick with hi-hat, 2 snare drums, kick hi-hat, 2 snare drums. Something like this. And I'm gonna go to the dance beat. A little bit faster. So this is the end of the song where I'm gonna do a nice cool fill in flam, triplet kick. I'm using 2 times the floor tom and 1 time the tom 1. Alright, I'm gonna do right, right, left kick. So flam, right, right, left kick. A little bit faster. And then I'm gonna do like flam, tom, tom, just in 2/16 notes and 1/8 note just to end. Alright, now I have more space to use both hands to end. I'm gonna be doing really simple quarter note hits on all crashes and try to change maybe two together, one alone, and it's a good time to do some stick tricks.